Hey everyone, welcome to another video on geometry nodes. In today's video, we will see about color node. I release new videos on a weekly basis. Please subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified when I upload a new one. This is Jay from CJ Academy. Let's start. Okay, we have the Blender default cube. We'll go to geometry nodes, create a new geometry. So now we have the 3D viewport and the geometry nodes editor. This is the default geometry nodes you get when you create the default cube. So today we're going to see about input, constant, color node. So this is the location of the color node. Let's go for subdivision surface and connect it to the cube. Okay, and we're connecting this to the vertex crease. Now the color socket outputs RGBA color or RGBA value. So you have four values here: 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 and 1. That is RGBA. RGB values, red, green, blue values, and alpha value. So it has four values, but we are connecting it to a float value. So it can take only one value. So the conversion behind this is a bit complicated. So we'll not deep dive into how RGBA gets converted to a floating point value, but this is how it takes. So a color value can be taken to a float value. It's not that useful, but you can control the vertex crease based on the different colors you choose. This is very similar to the noise texture, let's say a low budget noise texture. And to get even more better or interesting geometries, I'll bring in another cube, mesh primitive cube. We can control the size using the color also. Okay, so if I connect to this, I'll show you by connecting to the output. So as usual, RGBA values are given. It's taking as float value here, but here if you see, it's taken as vector, the XYZ value, and in this case it takes the first three values directly. There is no further conversion needed. The alpha value is ignored. What happens here is it's giving interesting shapes for each of the color you choose on a random basis. Okay. So it can be X, Y, Z, any direction. It can give a different value. Now to make use of this, we'll have to put it to a mesh boolean to cut the main cube with this. So this is not the mesh one, this is mesh one, and we want to cut it with this. Okay, it's cutting already, but we don't see it because of the size. I will show you from the wireframe mode. You see, it is already there. So if I mute it, it's disappearing. If I unmute it, the cube is there. The cut is happening, but not just at the surface level. To make it more obvious, let's add a transform geometry node and increase the size of this. Let's say we'll make it to 4. It's already cutting it. So let's go back to the normal view. You can see it's making cut because the size of the cube is big enough to make the cuts. Okay, now if I go for different color selection, you get different interesting shapes, okay, different cuts. So these are all random based on the selection you make. Now to get it to a smoother output, you can put a shade smooth only to this, then you get better result. So here we have used only one color node to control the vertex crease, which should not be 0, and we need some kind of crease to get this sharp edges, and at the same time with the same input we are controlling the cutting cube size. So the shape of it determines with the color selection we do. So there is no cut in this case, so Now it happens. Yeah, this is like completely gone, only the edges are there. So like this you can bring different shapes using the color node combined with mesh boolean and a couple of cubes, just like that. So this is very let's say a low budget setup of noise texture. You can control different aspect of the geometry using just one color input node, and by tweaking the size, the scale of it in one direction, you get a full cut and even a different kind of shapes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it about the color nodes. If you find this video useful, please like it and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you want me to cover any specific topic in Blender geometry nodes, please let me know in the comment section. I'll see you in another cool video. Thank you. Bye.